Something kind of has been dawning on me here as time progresses. Looking back over my life at a lot of things that were established until my time came for my part, and those things were no longer available when it was my turn. And I'm not saying this to complain, I'm just saying when you add all this stuff together, it seems that this wasn't by chance, that policies changed or, funding became less as time went on, as I became eligible for these same things. So, for instance, with the licensing, by the time I went to get my license, I didn't get it when I was a teenager. I waited until I was an adult. And the graduated licensing program had already been established by the time I went to get my license, right? So that's just one example. What's called child tax benefit, I think, or mother's allowance, was available in Ontario for single mothers that had kids, and it was, a considerable amount more than regular social assistance. A few grand or something a month. So my sister got to have that for a number of years, and other women, right? And some guys had even got on as a single father. As things modernized and people realized, hey, they were just people, male and female. It's fucking two sides of the same meat sickle, whatever. Anyway, another thing that changed, that I was just coming to realize, is after I joined welfare there, social assistance in Ontario, which is a government issued check for low income people, whatever. It became less like probably a record low for what they would give out by the time I joined. Another, coincidence? The last thing was pretty major. So I just sit back and watch for a while because, I see what other people do. They protest, they march, they shout at the top of their lungs for help or for justice or for peace or whatever, but I also see it doesn't get them anywhere. It falls on deaf ears. So I devised too late a silent protest that I wanted to arrange in Ottawa, but by the time I came up with the idea, it was just about 1 million people getting together at Parliament Hill and flooding the whole downtown, choking off all the business and everything for a whole day. Nobody saying a word, but everybody having a mask with their whatever they were protesting for written on their mask, so it would be known, but they wouldn't have to speak because they're not fucking listening anyways, if they're even in the building when you're there doing it. But this would at least get, global attention, and maybe, people would echo it and something could actually be done, because if you're not going to listen, then what's the point of saying anything, right? But we can get together and we can show that we're not fucking happy. Anyway, by the time I came up with this brilliant idea, which I think is pretty brilliant, the only difficulty would be trying to keep everybody peaceful, because you don't want a violent protest, right? You want a peaceful protest, so everybody has to come in the right spirit of nonviolence. But it could easily be pulled off. Get 1 million people together. Just call the Promise Keepers. They'll get some guys there for you. If you haven't checked them, if you're not familiar with Promise Keepers, look them up. I got to join them one time in '95 when we went to Washington, D.C. to pray on behalf of the nations and the families. It was all the husbands getting together to do this on behalf of our loved ones, right? This is just before I became a father, but wouldn't you know that the Canadian government had protested, or had considered protesting, an act of terrorism by the time this idea hit me. So there you go. What are the odds of that, eh?